Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Let me move this over. So, we're going to be jumping back into the same topic we covered last week. We're refactoring some of our ETL. So, let me just kind of walk you through, as a recap, what we did last time. So, we have this new set of stages here. And so, for bronze, this largely stayed the same. The biggest change is down here where we're doing our delta right. So we're now using the delta table libraries to go ahead and do our upsert. We decided to not do any updates. So you'll see here that when not matched, we do insert all. We could also do a when matched update all, but for this particular data set, where we're not getting corrections after the fact, it just doesn't really make sense. So the next thing I want to look at is our bronze cognitive. So we're going to need to bring in some of the same changes here. So this is where we're doing our cognitive services transformation. You can see here in this whole pipeline. So let's go ahead and refactor this. That's our YouTube link. Let me grab this. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to call it untapped cognitive. And then we're going to merge it with DF sentiment. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just make this easier on us, keep some of the code the same. Okay, so DF sentiment. So we're aliasing this as the updates. We're grabbing this table. Okay, and then this will still be able to use the primary key of check-in ID. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so this should be fine. In this case, I think I will do a when updated because there's a chance that the cognitive services engine could change our sentiment score. So I'll do a when matched dot update all. Okay, and then dot execute. For this one, we will need to be attached to the old cluster. So let me go ahead and fire this up. I'm also going to, while I'm thinking about it, go ahead and change my display scaling. I sometimes forget to do that before the video starts, but I think it helps the recording. I guess let me know in the comments if that's the case. Okay, so once this cluster is fired up, we should be good to go there. And then we're good to go on bronze. So then next, we have under stages new our silver zone. Now we're moving our silver zone notebooks over here. So this is really just silver is now just a kickoff notebook. So what it's going to do is it's going to create this data frame, or rather initialize this data frame that all the other tables read off of. And that's all we're going to have it do. So the first thing that we can do, let me look in here. So Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and have, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and change this to a read instead of a read stream. The reason we're doing that is we're now replacing, instead of handling like deduplication and some of the watermark processing in our structured stream, we're now doing that through the Delta libraries natively, so we don't really need this anymore. So we're just going to read in this table, and then we're going to go ahead and apply this date fix. This puts it in a format that Power BI expects, and it also makes it easier for us to query against. And then yeah, fix, drop date. Okay. So then we can also extract the venues. So that's all fine. This just makes the venue table available as a data frame. And then we're going to write out this delta table. So what we'll probably do here is apply the same logic. By the same logic, I mean the logic that we did here. Now, obviously, we're using write delta table. So I'm going to go ahead and refactor this behind the scenes. So let's go to our utilities and to open that in a tab. So what we're going to need to do is refactor this to use delta instead. So we'll have, let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and have it be write delta table upsert, so that way our old logic still works. We don't want to do a direct replacement necessarily. Well, I guess we actually could. Let's pursue that. Let's see if that's something that we can do, and then if not, I'll go ahead and work it out. And I still need to do this to do at some point. Okay, so for the query zone, we're still going to say that we're writing the stream to the query zone. I think there's a way to log instead of having that print. Trying to remember. Okay. Looking for just the DB utils. And that's not really something we need to worry about right now. I just was going to go ahead and clean it up. Let's see if under DB utils there's We are attached to a cluster. So I guess it's that notebook instead of .notebook. Okay. Yeah, I guess we only need to do it on the exit. That's fine. We'll just do the print here. So then this is going to be what we're replacing. I'm in a different programming mindset, I guess, with the double slash. Okay, so we'll bring this in. We'll go ahead and put our imports up here. Okay, and then okay, so what we want to do is take so we're going to take this because that's going to be our actual path name. It'll be this slash whatever the name that we're passing in is. And then we're going to alias this as name. And then the data frame we're passing in will alias as updates. And then the only other thing that we're going to need is the key. So the primary key. I think we're going to need to have it. Have it be a string 2. So this is going to take the place of our check-in ID. So it'll be sorry, primary key. So then we'll do the same thing when not matched, insert all, but we're going to do what we did for cognitive and go ahead and allow for updates. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be a breaking change. I'm kind of okay with that because bronze is still going to work. So we'll probably just either disable silver for now or leave it turned off because it's not going to have this primary key field. and in some senses it doesn't even make sense. Let me actually look at our data model though, because it might be an easy enough fix to go ahead and bring it in. I'll go ahead and put this in. The only time we'd hit line 16, by the way, is if this table doesn't exist yet. So that's why we're keeping an except in there. Come on. Okay. So in our data model, this is what I wanted to check. So if we looked at managed relationships, so most of this is happening on the ID field of a particular table. Some of them are surrogate keys. So it might not be as easy as we anticipated. But like, if we looked at like, let's see, if we looked at like fact beer, you know, this is happening off of a surrogate key, but this is happening on badges is happening off a check and ID. So we'll just have to do it on a case by case basis. Okay. And then I was just noticing comment still isn't connected, so maybe we'll have to work on that once we get back into the Power BI. Okay, so this should be fine. And then we'll take the same logic for writing to the sanction zone. Just gonna leave myself a reminder. This is backed by our revision history, but I'd still like to keep the old code in there just in case, until we could do some testing. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so this is the same deal. We're just using the sanction zone path. Okay. Otherwise, it's an invalid zone option. Okay, so that was easy enough. So we'll replace this. And obviously there's some better best practices around replacing functions like this without breaking your pipeline. We just, you know, there's no SLA, right? This is just for me, so keep that in mind. Okay, and then our register delta table will be the same. Okay. Okay, so everything up through here is fine. And then we're gonna write the DF table. Let's actually see if this is ready, and it is. So we'll run this so we can turn off our old cluster. And then we'll go back to silver. I know I'm sort of hopping around a lot today, but it's just one of those days. A lot of different stuff to work on. Let's Let's see. Okay, so yeah, this always takes a minute. Okay, a schema mismatch was detected. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, and then where's our DF getting created? Okay, it's all the way up here. So check an ID, text into an error, response, status, protocol version, your minor status, sentiment array, element struct, sentiment, statistics, character count, document scores. Element, text, string, confidence scores. Offset, length. Okay, so nothing's jumping out at me. Oh, it's because of this. Okay. So let's try this first and see what error we get. Delta merge builder has no attribute when not matched. I don't think that's true. Let me look at my documentation real quick. So I think I see the problem. I think I was just writing this against an old example. Let's see if that's true. Okay, and then it was unhappy with this too. Cool. Okay, so it's updating 12 files. Okay, so let's see if we can do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and double check that it all matches. I'm going to actually put an error code here. Oh, duh, okay. There we go. And over in our utilities, I'm going to go ahead and make a change to the matching condition, because it's not going to find updated or untapped. So let's alias this as source. Just for the sake of convenience. Okay. Let's go back to our cognitive. Okay, so that all works. So we can turn off this cluster. Terminate it, because we did all of our Spark 2.4 work for the day. Now let's see what's going on with our other cluster. I'm going to turn this back up a little bit. We might not be able to start this until our other one spins down. We'll see. We can still make progress without a live cluster. Maybe. That's fun. Okay, there we go. So let's wait for this to fire up. And then one of the things that I want to look at next, so we've got silver kind of polished up. We want to look at if there's any room for partitioning in silver as well, but also in bronze. I don't think there will be in bronze because everything that we're doing on bronze is coming from selects. I don't think we've got any join conditions or filters happening, but let's go ahead and check. So we're doing that for sentiment just to find our arrays. We're not doing any filters. Let's make sure we're not doing any joins. Okay. Okay. So we don't really need to do any partitioning in bronze. So that's good. So we can kind of move on to silver. So the idea would be that everything up through here, or rather here, happens on its own. So let's go ahead and run that. We're also going to need to provide a primary key. And that can be check-in. Yep. Let's also look and make sure this used to depend on streaming. So let's make sure that this isn't cool. Yeah, this should all be fine. Okay. So let's try and read in our utility functions. If our cluster is awake yet. Doesn't seem like it is. Okay. So let's do this. So we'll take this. Oh, there it goes, of course. I was just about to change what I was doing. So we're going to let this run. And then we'll go ahead and start working on our toasts notebook since that's coming first. Okay. I'm shocked that took close to a minute. I'm actually going to um, gonna see if we can't clean up that table. What is it? I always forget this syntax. Oh yeah, it's a spark.sql command. That's what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I can provide it just the path. Oh, that works. That's what I was looking for, the path-based version. So then we'll do our and then we can do delta table.vacuum. Let that clean up. Let it compute its snapshot. And we'll bring this into the pipeline in a little bit. Okay, so that cleaned. So you can do vacuum. And there should also be a I think it's either optimize or clean. Let's see. Maybe you can only do that on tables. Let's see. So this table isn't registered. So I have to look at the path. But I think the vacuum is probably enough. Because I think the optimize only works on tables, if I recall correctly. Let's see. Yeah, because it's only going to work if we've partitioned. And we can set up auto optimize once we get into that. I'm going to go ahead and open up that doc set just so I don't forget. Okay, but we should be good for this then. And let's go ahead and try running this one more time and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, that's a little bit better. We'd have to restart our cluster. Or I guess I can detach and reattach to clear the notebook state. I just want to see if that cleaned it up at all or sped it up. Because we had a ton of files in there. There we go. Okay, so that seemed to do the trick. And there we go. And then this will be the moment of truth. Okay. And then we leave out our table registration. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it only takes a half second. But I still... trying to think the best way to do that. Because from a Hive Metastore perspective, there shouldn't be an instance where we need to register these all again. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. And then we could do all of our registration at the end if needed. Or we could even try and go back and merge these again. Because the issue we were having before was like a race condition where the write wouldn't be finished by the time the registration was happening, and so it'd slow everything down. I'm going to remove that for now. And then I'm going to try and get through our first new Silver Zone notebook. So this will be toasts. And this is where we're going to have all the logic for toasts. And then what we'll do is on our nightly job, I know I've been skipping around, but bear with me. In our nightly job, instead of running the silver layer, what we would do is in our DB utils, we can do a command to list all the notebooks in a folder. And then I forget what the command is, and the autocomplete isn't helping me right now. Point is, we can get all the notebooks in a particular folder, and then we can run all of those notebooks underneath a silver folder instead of just running the silver stage on its own. So we'll get into that. And I need to just look at the DB utils reference again. But not to lose momentum, let's go back to toasts. Let's pull up silver first. So we're going to copy all this over for toasts. I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't know why this never works for me. There we go. I need to just remember the hotkeys probably. I think it's like Windows arrow or something. So we bring that in, and then bring this in. Okay. And that should be all we need. And then of course our primary key. Oh yeah, and this will be what we do for everything now. So this was at level 4, so I'll make that, or level 3, so I'll make this a level deeper. So we're gonna bring in our untapped data. So we're gonna need to do that, and we're also gonna need to bring in our parameters and functions. Okay. So then to read in the data, we're going to do df equals spark read. Format is delta. And then we're going to load in this table that we wrote out to the query zone. So it'll be let me go back in the functions notebook and grab it. This guy. Or I don't know why I'm doing that. Untapped. Okay. Then we'll need to bring in all of our imports. Then we need our primary key. And for toasts, that's going to be our like ID, I think. Let's do gets I don't think I have count imported. We'll just do it the basic way. And you'll see what I'm trying to do. Okay. So we'll actually just do a display, and this should be pretty easy to see duplicates. So these are just legitimate duplicates, it looks like. But we'll go ahead and use like ID. Okay. Cool. So then the next thing we'll do, because this is now effectively complete, right? Is go ahead and go into our new Silver Zone nightly job, or our Spark 3 nightly job, that new one I was referencing. Let me just clone this into our stages new, just so we don't mess anything up. And I want to show how that option I was mentioning earlier would work. So I think it's, I'm looking at a reference here. So if we, let's go ahead and get this attached. So it's, I think it's, So we want to see how to list all the items in a workspace folder in Databricks. And there's a way, I just forget what the syntax is. So because you can't, like if I went and grabbed the path for this, yeah, that takes you to the actual link. Here, you can get the file path. So if I did like dbutils.fs dot so that's going to get me the file store. I feel like this is something I've done before. Let's see what would happen. So if we took something like toasts, which has a file structure. If we did .notebook.run, so it doesn't like that. Let me just do one more search. Because this is going to be something that we could hard code. I'm just kind of curious to figure it out now. And I guess let me bring my search over here. That would probably help. A lot of these are just too generic. I think some of these work off of the command line interface. See if any of this is insightful. Yeah, so this is PowerShell, which I know we can do it through the command line interface. This this is just about managing it through the GUI. I wonder what we can do through get context. Yeah, so we don't even have that. This might be something we can run in Scala. So that's for this notebook. Interesting. Okay. I don't think that gets us what we need either. Yeah, and this uses the API. Oh yeah, I forgot about the run command. But I think that only takes one at a time. This actually might not be something that we can do. So we might just create like our own table with the different notebooks we need to run. But that is a little bit inconvenient. Let's see. Yeah, that might just not be something that's currently supported. I'm going to keep pulling on this thread and see what I can find. But for now, we've got our first Silver Zone notebook done, our first refactored one based on Delta. I think the other ones will go very fast after this. So we'll pick that back up next Wednesday. Thanks everyone for tuning in or watching